Andy, deputies recommend that the next time you fill up, make sure that this seal right here is not broken, because if it is, it's a good indication that this has been tampered with. Andy, we are actually standing in a backyard right near Ionia Road, and you can actually see the path of destruction this tornado took. Take a look at this right here. This wheat field completely flattened in a certain specific area, and then all of a sudden these trees here totally snapped off the top, and then, oh my goodness, it leads right up to this barn that once stood for 70 years, but it stands no more.
It's called medical tourism, and it's a fancy name for traveling to another country for medical care. Advocates tell us patients can actually save up to 70% when signing up for anything from plastic surgery to heart surgery. Now, what many people don't realize is that this is not an X-ray machine. It actually uses sound waves to detect everything on your body, from paper to metal, even plastic.
Police and emergency crews are working to respond to this crash right now on I-94. The westbound lane is actually shut down. Now, what we've been told is that a Corvette went off the road, hit a tree, and that a person was trapped inside a car with a part of that tree stuck inside the driver's head.
Are you aware that tampering with utility line can be a 5-year felony?
Oh, yeah. I didn't tamper with their line.
We were told it was 300 feet.
Yeah, that's what they said to me. I told them it was more like 140 feet.
So what happened to the other 150 feet of it?
Wasn't there. There was only one span that fell.
So you didn't sell any of it?
Nope. I didn't sell it. I didn't touch anything. I didn't cut it down myself. It fell to the ground.
Some people claim that your story's been changing.
My story hasn't changed one bit.
Police tell us that just after 6 o'clock this morning, an employee from the train yard heard somebody moaning as they were walking along the tracks right here. They then discovered it was a teenage boy bleeding from the head. As you can see here, dozens of people already checking out the silent auction with toys for the kids. We've got toys for the adults. And then up the hallway here, we have a special treat for the adults as well. We have a bamboo chair massage going on. Very interesting, but of course, the main attraction tonight is the food, all of it donated by people right here in this community. Come here and check out this spread. Now, this auditorium actually seats 300, and we're told the board is expecting that many people to come out tonight and fill all of these seats. Andy, we are actually on the west side of the city right now, and we have seen some unbelievable damage. Take a look at this massive white oak tree that completely uprooted and then smashed through this house. The neighbor tells me that the woman who lives here is okay, that she was actually hiding in her basement when this tree came crashing down yesterday. That's right, Kate. The boater's brother actually tells me that a ferry boat captain found him sitting on the front porch of one of the homes right over there on the west side of the island, that he was incoherent and severely dehydrated but conscious.
You know, and speaking of education, Ryan, if someone were to see a prescribed burn happening, what should they do?
The thefts are happening overnight and on the weekends. Incidents happened in Byron, Algoma, and Cascade Townships, as well as the city of Kentwood. Some of that stolen mail contained checks that are now being counterfeited or cashed, both locally and out of state. Investigators now recommend taking sensitive materials directly to the post office instead of leaving them overnight. If you have any information about these thefts, call police or Silent Observer right away. This just in, Ottawa County deputies are searching for a man accused of breaking into a party store overnight. That happened at Botello's Party Store on Lake Michigan Drive just before 3 this morning. The sheriff's office says the owner of the store has an apartment in the basement. He heard glass break and then came up to find a man leaving the store and then taking off in a car. Right now, officers are looking for him, and it's unknown if anything was stolen. We are following breaking news this morning. Police are involved in a standoff. It's happening on Leonard Street right now in Grand Rapids. News Channel 3's Aaron Dimmick is live at the scene.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And it's almost International Tom Hanks Day. Interesting. How one organization hopes to spread the love from Tom Hanks to cities all across the country.
The cleanup effort still continues tonight, even at this hour. Take a look right here behind me. Right now, crews are trying to reinforce the roof of this church after 40% of it was ripped off during the tornado. One thing we've learned today is that this community is dedicated to helping everybody rebuild.
Devastated and very emotional.
It was just really scary.
You think it never will, but
This time it did.
The people of Portland still in disbelief just 24 hours after an EF1 tornado ripped through the city.
All you could hear was light crashing and things breaking.
Families took cover in their basements as dagger-like tree branches smashed through windows.
And the wind was going around circles just like that.
The damage is unbelievable. Snapped chimneys, uprooted trees, and collapsed garages. One man's roof ripped off while he and his wife were inside.
Wind was trying to pull me out of here, so I'm hanging onto the doorknob, hanging onto the chair.
The tornado touched down on the city's west side, flattening a path through this wheat field, and then demolishing a family's barn in seconds after it stood there for more than 70 years.
Very emotional.
Is this like a part of your life gone in a way?
Yes.
Winds reaching 110 miles per hour sucked this car and a snowblower out of a garage and then flipped over another couple's camper.
This weekend we were going to take our maiden voyage in it.
We're going to go to Cadillac for the weekend.
That's been canceled.
But what's begun is a massive community effort to pick up, chop up, and rebuild the 4-mile stretch that's undoubtedly changed the city forever. And state police are also here tonight, keeping an eye on this church while crews continue to work. They're making sure that everybody stays safe as the cleanup continues throughout the night. Reporting live from Portland, Jessica Harthorn, News Channel 3.
Get about 5 coming in.
Shut the f up, Tom.
Guy in the white's gone if he doesn't get quiet.
Put your hands behind your back.
It's a typical June night at 2 a.m. on Kalamazoo's north side.
And I've heard at least 5 or 6 fights over here tonight.
The parking lot of Dacia's convenience store is the meeting place for the night's X train.
Sir, stay in the car for me, please.
And Kalamazoo public safety officers have it surrounded.
Give me 1 minute. I want to set up in a spot here and be able to have a better eye.
Within minutes, officers rush in. A fight breaks out between 2 women, and this man steps in, only to end up bleeding from the head after being hit by a beer bottle.
I heard you're at Academy and Park with what?
Up the road near North and Cobb, police find this crack pipe and hundreds of dollars in cash during a traffic stop. Another stop at North and Stewart finds a drunk driver carrying weed. And this man gets put in the back of the KDPS transport van. He's heading to jail after driving with an expired license. His car was searched for drugs and his girlfriend frisked for anything illegal.
I feel horrible because we had nothing to do with anything.
During the X-Train sting, McDonald's Towing wastes no time, providing immediate impounds. We catch the action and this man shoves our camera away while this woman's emotions run high.
Police ain't got nothing else better to do but ruin our mother life. That's what it is.
Kalamazoo police are cracking down on the X-Train, now more than ever.
Stop screaming.
The newly formed Community Outreach Problem-Solving Division, otherwise known as COPS, is using grant money to put more officers on the streets. It's part of a collective effort Chief of Police Jeff Hadley says he's using to end the X-Train.
Look, this has got to stop. This is not tolerable.
But manpower is still an issue for KDPS. The chief tells us he could dedicate an entire shift to nothing but the X-Train.
Kids in the car, man. 2:30 in the morning, they got kids in the car.
And his officers would still not be able to handle every single violation that occurs.
We've dedicated an enormous amount of resources to kind of squash it, if you will, and for it to keep rearing its head is a little frustrating.
But the chief tells us it's folks who live in Kalamazoo's downtown neighborhoods who have the power to help them prevent the X-Train.
And I've always said, regardless of the problem or the issue, somebody knows somebody that's participating in that type of activity, and they need to tell them, look, this is ridiculous. This is harming the community, it's harming the neighborhood, it's harming me.
That message is starting to spread. Prayer vigils are popping up across the city, held at places where the X-Train has led to young people being gunned down. Chief Hadley tells us the community and the COPS division are making headway on cracking down on the X-Train. Each weekend, there are less people involved, and arrests are in the double digits.
We mean business, and I don't say that in any other way to say, enough's enough.
Kate, Weeks tells me there was a power struggle within the club. He says that people wanted to see him out as president. And when that didn't happen, he says people wanted to take down the club instead with false accusations against him.
Hi, I'm Jessica with Channel 3. I was hoping maybe we could talk to you about
the allegations that are out there.
Tonight, we went to Joseph Weeks' house looking for answers after News Channel 3 received multiple tips he spent thousands of dollars of the club's money on personal use. And documents we just obtained list charges from the organization's account on things like utility bills and at the casino.
You're being accused of embezzling from your own charity, and that's a big concern.
It is a big concern of mine, and all the money's accounted for. One of the club members who reportedly was going to help us sort all this out, when he left, he took every receipt and record that we had. Okay, stole them.
The club's new treasurer, Tom Hepler, who says he took over a few months ago to help Weeks organize the receipts from the Easy Ride, believes there was no criminal wrongdoing, just bad business practices. Hepler tells us the club spent $35,000 on the Easy Ride, paying for plane tickets, hotel rooms, T-shirts, and signs. But the event only raised $33,000.
So you over budgeted, it sounds like.
Absolutely. That's all that's happened here.
Unfortunately, there are some rumors that you have a gambling problem and maybe that's where the money went.
No. Was there bad business practices that happened? Absolutely.
And then we confronted Weeks about the allegations he's wearing military badges that don't belong to him.
What would you say to the people who say that your badges are somebody else's?
All the truth is going to come out in the end. Okay, that's what I can say. I have my DD-214.
When we asked to see the military document that proves release or discharge from active duty, he told us he couldn't find it.
And we've also been told that every single law enforcement officer has left the club. We also discovered tonight that 300 pages of evidence have already been turned over to the FBI. Reporting live from Kalamazoo, Jessica Harthorn, News Channel 3. Andy, business owners tell me that when that earthquake hit this morning, they could actually feel and see the glass windows shake. And then they say the world stopped.
Everybody just kind of froze a second and looked at each other, and then we came outside. I mean, clearly something had happened.
What happened was a magnitude 3.3 earthquake. At 11:42 a.m., it hit the small community of Union City, and 5 seconds later, it was gone.
It was just bizarre. I mean, you don't expect that in Michigan, and to have it twice in a matter of, a month or something, what's going on here?
What's amazing is that downtown business owners reported zero damage.
This was tipped.
But on the outskirts of town, we did find Cindy Riggs and her overturned flower pots. She says she literally felt the quake from the inside out.
I got a vibration going up, and my tongue got really numb, and it was so bad that I had to sit down.
What were they doing out here, Chase?
Then, exactly 7.7 miles northeast of Union City, the Hageman family showed us the earthquake's epicenter. Becky Hageman says she decided to mark the spot and then call it Mike's fault in honor of her husband.
A couple weeks ago, we had to dig a deep trench in our yard to put in water lines from the house to the barn to water horses. So it's, just kind of a joke that he digs a big deep trench and then all of a sudden we get an earthquake. So now it's a fault line. So it's Mike's fault.
So your wife is accusing you of causing the earthquake. And your reaction?
Not true.
So whether it was Mike's fault or not, the good news is that nobody was injured here today. Reporting live from Union City, Jessica Harthorn for News Channel 3, live at 10 on the CW7.